all of these things started happening really fast, actually. When you think about it, it seems to some people like a long time ago, but if you think about the catalogue of events, it was only about little more than a decade later most people were buying the first internet-connected computer for their household.
Correct. So the history of the internet goes roughly like this. 1974, the internet protocols were published. So that was the time when researchers realized that you needed to have a workstation on one network talk to things across multiple networks. And that was Vint Cerf and Bob Kahn's paper in 1974. There was a lot of research on networking, survivability of networks, different types of networks, but they really had no effect on service networking until 1983, 1st of January 1983, when the ARPANET adopted the TCP/IP protocols. And then in quick succession you had CSNet for computer science academics, and then the NSFNet, which was for all researchers in the US. You had the interim backbone agreed between the supercomputers in September '85 at 56 KB. 2 years later it was T1, that's 1.5 megabits. 2 years after that was T3, that's 45 megabits, and so the bandwidth escalated. By 1988-89, Tim Berners-Lee, working in CERN, realized that you could use hyperlinks, which were in documents, linking documents together, to link documents across this internet. So the idea of hyperlinks as links in documents that linked documents on different computers was born. And he built the first webs. In fact, when I was in UCD in 1991, we ran a line interface version of the web. Frankly, we weren't that impressed, because it wasn't until later, when about 91 or 92, when the web became available. And then in one of the national supercomputer centers in the US, they built the first browser, and suddenly there was a graphical user interface on this web of documents called the web, and things just accelerated from there. Within about 5 years, the commercial internet was well underway, and companies started to realize that this was a way of expressing themselves or offering services on the web. And then you had 1999, you had the dot-com boom and the subsequent crash. So all these things accelerated very rapidly, and that's the history of any technology: the slow startup, bit of a build-up, and a rapid growth. So today, your average iPhone has more power, however you measure it, than the supercomputers that I built the network for in 1985. People have to their mobile phone more bandwidth than I had in the initial backbone across the United States of America, and so it continues. So I had a meeting in Washington earlier in September on the 21st to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the backbone, and we were speculating on the next 30 years. And I said, if you look at what's happened, what we're seeing actually is a world that's emerging of infinite connectivity, infinite bandwidth, and infinite computing power. So no longer will speed of computing or speed of bandwidth be an issue. It'll be what we do with it, and that's a very interesting, exciting, and challenging development. So it accelerates away still.
And do you ever draw a line between those days when you made that fateful decision to today? In your own city of Dublin, entire industries are here based on the internet. You're standing here in Yahoo's offices overlooking Dublin Bay. Do you ever draw a line in that connection?
Well, yes, in the sense that back in 1985 we were tremendously ambitious. We were going to build a network for all the researchers in all 304 research universities in the United States of America, and that was our ambition. Wild ambition, hugely ambitious, and we were successful. Did we think we were building a network that would become the communications infrastructure for everything? No. In fact, I often say that if I was told that that was the situation, I probably couldn't have done what I did. If I was told that there would be security issues, I would have concentrated on security. Even more mundanely, if I was told that the existing internet protocols assumed that there was only one backbone, the ARPANET, I wouldn't have built another backbone. So everything I was doing was challenging the structures to grow. But I had no idea, none of us had any idea, that we were creating literally the communications infrastructure, the future infrastructure for the globe. No idea at all.
Dennis, thank you very much.